Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Trevor.
Before we get into the book, let's take a step back to when, for many people, your journey began in the American public eye. And that was during the Democratic conventions. You spoke out against Donald Trump's banning all Muslims. You spoke out because you are someone who is a Muslim person, but someone who has family members who live in the country, and most importantly, a son who died fighting for this country. How did your life change from that moment, and what did you decide to do with your life after that became the news story that it did?
I have spoken to 162 events since then, and journey continues, journey of hope. It has been amazing to see how much hope there is in this nation, how much we disagree with this division, with this hate that had been sowed by Donald Trump and his coterie of advisors. Most of this country is so hopeful that this anomaly will be over soon and we will continue to move forward. Of course, political disagreements, but this division, this hatred is only momentary. We have continued, and I continue to. And the main reason we went to that convention is our small children. Scores of them, wherever I would go after that bigoted statement that was made that this Muslims will be banned, Hispanics are criminals, judges are unfair.
Right.
Small children will reach out wherever birthday parties of our grandchildren we will go and ask me this question. We are born here. Will we be thrown out? Can I finish my elementary school? And I tell that story in the book with detail that why did we got up. Everyone in my family and my well-wishers advise, do not go. This is not your cup of tea.
Right.
Don't get involved. But there comes time in a person's life when either you can shy away or you set your sail. We set our sail in protection of those children. One letter that I always mention that sent us to that stage was 4 middle school students signed a card and placed it in our mailbox. I opened it. We were still considering whether we should go or not, and this is what that letter said. Mr. and Mrs. Khan, would you make sure that Maria is not thrown out of this country? We love her. She's our friend. I looked at it. I read it twice. I brought it to Ghazala and I showed it to her. I said, maybe our time has come that we need to set our sail. And we did. In gratitude to the values of this country, in gratitude to the guarantees of the Constitution,
right,
to remind ourselves and remind the nation that we are a nation of goodness, good values. Our values are beacon of hope for the entire world, not only for the United States. So it is that reason. And we tell all these stories in this book. Book has become a vehicle, and a vehicle to pay tribute to America's goodness. We have set up a scholarship, need-based scholarship from the proceeds of this book at University of Virginia under the name of Captain Humayun Khan Memorial Fund. And so the goodness of all of that sacrifice continues to give us light and grace, and we continue to move forward with this message of hope and building.
You write in the book, I am an American patriot, not because I was born here, but because I was not. It's an interesting statement to write. It's contradictory to what many people would think or feel. What does America mean to you, and what does that gold star signify? Many people say gold star families, but what does it actually mean to be a gold star family?
Nobody wishes to wear this gold star. And you don't wish anybody to wear this gold star. This is given to commemorate the sacrifice of your loved one. I wear it with pride because I'm not wearing it just because of Captain Humayun Khan, but I'm wearing it to honor the sacrifice of all my sons and daughters that have sacrificed their life for this nation, for this country. So this Gold Star is given Gold Star families, not this humble person, All Gold Star families are the pride. They have the highest dignity, highest honor of this nation, and that is our tradition, which was violated a few days ago when my 4 brave sons died in protecting United States in the most difficult circumstances. Their privacy, their dignity was not granted the way it should have been, especially Sergeant LaDavid Johnson and his most elegant, most honorable wife was not given the courtesy to view the body of Sergeant Johnson. That is basic courtesy that should have been granted. I am twice heartbroken of that. We had the courtesy of identifying Captain Humayun Khan. I went there when the body came, and I was asked to, they opened the coffin, and I looked at my son, and I recognized, and I told them, yes, this is my son. That courtesy was not extended to Moesha. I am just twice heartbroken. If the body was in a condition where it was not identifiable, say so. Somebody should visit with her, sit down with the family, explain to them that the reason we are not being able to show you, it happens in the military, in other accidents as well. Sometimes bodies are not identifiable, but you sit in dignity and you explain to the family, give them the dignity of this information, that this is the condition for such reason, and that was not extended to Moesha.
When you speak about the dignity that should be afforded, and you look at the discourse in the country right now, it feels like there is a disconnect between the families, the troops, and the politicians. Because you cannot deny that there is a certain element of people using it as a political tool as opposed to just a story, or as opposed to a symbol of patriotism. How do you balance that, and how do you see it unfolding in the news? Because, I mean, you are someone who is spreading a story, as you say, of hope and of sacrifice. How do you preserve the memory of your son in such a way that it isn't just used as a political cudgel?
First, Captain Humayun Khan was made in here. We only brought him 3 years old to this country. All of the goodness that he learned, all of caring for others, sacrifice, standing up for those who needed his support, and all that was made here. This is good country. This country is full of hope and full of dignity, enshrined in our Bill of Rights, all the dignities that world aspires to have. We are so blessed to have them. Captain Humayun Khan wrote an essay for his admission to the dormitory, and the title of that essay was, and that applies so very much today and to the current situation, the title was, "Democracy Requires Vigilance and Sacrifice." Just think of this moment where our democracy, our democratic values are under attack from outside and from within by these authoritarian mentality that is in the White House at this moment. Requires our vigilance. These rights that are, and I tell these stories in the book in detail, not only to not be immodest, but to humbly present it to this nation and to the rest of the world. This is a blessed nation. We have at our disposal the best democracy of the world. We must preserve it. We must protect it. Those who do not wish us well are there to malign it so that they can say to the world, look at American democracy, it's a mockery, it is not working. Not at all. We will not let that happen. That is the message of this humble effort, but that is the message to the entire country that I carry with me. Message of hope, message of building bridges, message of making sure that these dignities, these rights that are enshrined in our Constitution are called inalienable rights. Those may be inalienable, but those are not self-executory. You and I need to stand up for those rights to make them executory so that nobody can take those away, nobody can malign them, nobody can redefine them for us.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you for sharing your story. An American Family is available now. Khizr Khan, everybody.